Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fazila, you're tuning into Fazila Reads. Today's episode is going to be a dedicated book review for The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. Thank you NetGalley, Little Brown Book Group, and Orbit for providing me with an arc of this book. I'm leaving this review voluntarily. So last year, towards the end of the last quarter, I decided to branch out and read more adult fantasy. The whole reason behind this is because I've been watching Murphy, Daniel Greene, Elliot Brooks, and Patrick for the past couple of years, and so many others as well. They have been a huge influence on me, just like I'm sure they are for others in wanting to explore the genre further. So far, I have only read YA and new adult books in the genre. I finally decided to pick up a few books here and there, especially in the adult fantasy genre, and challenge myself. The only problem was that I was completely intimidated by the whole prospect, and so I decided to join a few buddy reads to ease my way in. Shadow of the Gods was my one of my favorite buddy reads, and it was freaking awesome. And because of the whole buddy reading and discussions we had on our Goodreads thread, the whole reading experience was so much more amazing. Because Shadow of the Gods was one of my favorite books of 2021, I had high hopes for The Hunger of the Gods. It's also one of my most anticipated reads of 2022. Talk about pressure, right? I'm happy to say that it met all of my expectations and it was just epic. We were actually planning to buddy read The Hunger of the Gods on Goodreads, but because I got an arc for this, I decided to read it in advance so that I can review it sooner. We'll be having a discussion soon, and I'm freaking excited to share my thoughts and hear everyone's impression of the book. If you haven't read The Shadow of the Gods, then please do read it before watching this review because there will be minor spoilers for it. Now, before even we get to the book review, let's just talk about how freaking cool that cover is. It's just as spectacular, or maybe even more so than the first book. So fierce and beautiful. Let's get started with the review without any further delay. The Hunger of the Gods is the second book in the Bloodsworn Saga. It picks up right after where we left off in The Shadow of the Gods. One of the things I really appreciate about Gwynne is how he has included the characters list and the story so far section. This really helped me in refreshing my memory and also keeping track of who's who, especially when the books are published with some time between them. Now let's talk about some of the characters. Oka is obviously continuing her quest. This time around, she has more people on her team. I love Oka. She's one of my favorite characters in this book. Not only was she a great mother, but she's also one of the most lethal warriors to exist. She's a force of nature and was freaking awesome. Her dedication and her love for her family are one of the highlight characteristics in this book. She's terrifying when she lets herself loose and you do not want to be on her bad side. Elva, the other main character, is trying to come to terms with the new reality and the betrayal she and her warband experienced. She has so much responsibility and needs to grow and take charge as well. I like the direction her story is going and how everything got settled in this book. I can't wait to see how things will go moving forward with all the new changes she has brought into the storyline. Wag, our third main character, is on this new mission with the Bloodsworn and is doing everything in his power to unravel the mystery surrounding his sister's death and avenge her. With all the three characters going on these different journeys to fulfill their oaths or promises, and all the avenging they need to do, things get dicey as they move forward, with constant conflict arising every now and then. With the rise of the new power and danger lurking right around the corner, this book delivers an action-packed and engaging story that will make you want to pick up the third book very soon. The best thing about this book is the character work. I love that John Gwynne has created some of the best female characters in the story. They're all extremely powerful warriors with so many layers to them. It was exciting to continue the series by following our three main characters in the Shadow of the Gods. We also get two additional POVs from the antagonist of the story. These extra POVs were very well done and had so much to offer in terms of bringing forward a well-rounded story. The characters were morally grey. It was fascinating to see what made them tick and their motivations for their actions. The inner monologue of one of the characters was awesome and oftentimes hilarious. He was deceptive, always underhanded in his dealings. He was petty, arrogant, and had a sneaky personality. Dude almost always came out of the most dangerous situations somehow unbelievably alive, even though I thought he would be dead meat already. He was also sarcastic and had all these inner monologues that were completely opposite to his actions and demeanor on the outside. What I mean by that is, he'll be subservient and ready to do things for others and act in a certain way, but in reality, he'd be cursing them out in his head and talking crap about them. The other POV character has a lot of misgivings about his actions and how things turned out. He's also dealing with conflicting emotions and also regret, and simultaneously battling the sense of belonging he felt after joining a certain group. So it was fascinating to explore these two new POVs as they added more to the story. We also get to see new friendships and alliances forming between a few of the characters from the different groups. The animal companions added lots of fun moments to the story. I loved Wesley and Spurt scenes so much. The number of times I thought Wesley and her scenes were cute is unbelievable considering what she is and the kind of scenes she was in. The character dynamics were also wonderful within the warband and also with others as well. There was so much friendship and banter that made all of the interactions and dialogues flow very easily and organically. The banter and the interaction actually made me connect to each of them and also get a sense of their personality. When it comes to the pacing of the book, it's not the same throughout, so there are so many moments where the characters are mainly traveling from one place to the other. It can be boring to some people. I didn't, however, feel that way. There were so many fight sequences put between the travels, and this actually helped break the monotony of the travel scenes. All these action sequences that were put in between the different travels made it even more exciting. If the travel sequences or going on these long journeys or quests are not your thing, then this book might not be for you. I enjoy them because it gives us more of an insight into the characters, their personalities, and the different dynamics between the members of the group. Speaking of the action sequences and battle scenes, Gwynne is a master at creating some of the best settings for them. You feel the tension as if you're one of the warriors in the shield wall. I could feel the mounting tension, the heat, the adrenaline while reading it. My nerves were short and I was in awe of what I could feel by just reading. He has done a fantastic job of capturing the perfect atmosphere for some of the best battle or fight sequences. As I just mentioned, I didn't particularly mind the slower paced parts of the book. It actually gives us a better understanding of the characters, their motivations, and also helps us get to know the world a little bit better. And we also get to know our favorite characters and spend more time with them. And I think this is always a bonus. As long as the journey these characters make is fascinating and we get to see more of the world, then I'm all in for it. So I was never bored and was completely invested in each of these POEs and all they had to say. When it comes to the world building, it's gradual and progresses along nicely with the plot. The world gets expanded upon what we already knew of it. We get to see new places and learn about the gods and also get to see more new creatures as well. Some were so horrifying to think about. Minor spoilers, there is a scene with a Bloodsworn in a remote place. It was terrifying and repulsive at the same time. I felt like I needed to do exactly what Wog did after reading those scenes. If you have read the book, then you all know what I'm talking about. There is a lot of shift in the power structure in this book, and so with the rise of new powers, the different groups of warriors will have to deal with them in a completely distinct manner. If one group was all in for the changes, others were very much fearful, so they took precautionary measures in order to protect themselves from the possible danger. I'm so excited to see how everything will turn out and see who will be the last one standing in this book. The bloody gruesomeness we had in the first book is pretty much continued here as well. Bodies being carved up, dismemberment, blood spraying from different wounds. Sound familiar? It's all here as well. The characters are just as violent and savage as in the first book. This time around, most of them have reasons to go after the ones who wronged them, and there are quite a few blood feuds happening. So, one of the things I found interesting was that there were so many commonalities between all of these blood feuds. There are a lot of deaths, and I felt bad every single time one of the good ones died. Even the side characters were interesting, so I enjoyed all of their interactions. Because if this when someone died, I was feeling really bad. Overall, this was a fantastic continuation of The Shard of the Gods. It's a slow burn fantasy like the first one with the tension and momentum building gradually up towards the end. And that finale is one heck of an explosive sequence. The book ends on a cliffhanger and did leave me with a lot of questions. And I want those answers to those like yesterday. I wish we had the third book as of right now, but I understand that it will be taking time. So I gave the book 5 stars. Obviously, this is not much of a surprise, is it? Considering the fact that I just spent most of my time talking about how much I loved this book. Highly recommend checking out the sequel if you enjoyed the first book. For those of you who are still on the fence about the series, I just want to say it's an amazing read. It's thrilling, has so much excitement and mounting tension with wonderful and compelling characters. The book is also accessible and easy to understand. I highly recommend picking up the series if you like Norse-inspired epic fantasy with a ragtag group of warbands, and also if you love stories where ancient powers are rising and the protagonists are fighting to restore the balance. John Gwynne is definitely on the list of my favorite authors as of right now. I have only read like 3 books from him so far: The Shard of the Gods, The Hunger of the Gods from the Bloodsworn Saga, and Malice from his Faithful and the Fallen series. I'm currently reading Valor. So far, I have enjoyed everything that I've read from him, and so he's definitely going on my auto by authors list. His writing and prose are easy and simple enough to understand without it being too flowery or unnecessarily complicated. This was a bonus because I didn't have to spend time figuring out what he meant or go in search of any hidden meanings. I was able to enjoy the story fully as it was, and I highly appreciated that. I love that it's straightforward and accessible to even new to fantasy readers like me. The writing, while it is simple and easy to understand, it doesn't lack in quality. And so, because the story flows smoothly, it feels natural as well. It was easy to understand what was going on with the world and the setting, and so it felt really comfortable settling in. The world is epic and gets built gradually as the story progresses, so there were no info dumps either. Gwynne is a master storyteller, and the way he crafts his books and weaves these stories is just epic. These books were gritty, dark, and savage, and will satisfy your need for warrior stories with a Viking setting. So, Patrick from Patrick Leo and Dan from Treebeard made a prediction on the next book's title, and so I thought I would also drop my hat in the ring. I'm going to say it's going to be The Rage of the Gods for the title, and I'm hoping it would be Snaka on the cover. How cool would that be? That's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have you read The Hunger of the Gods? If so, what were your thoughts on it? Do let me know in the comment section. If you liked my content, do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.